Hello, friends! Welcome to my book nook. My name is Jalen, and this is my very first video, so if you're new here, that's okay because I'm new here too. I decided it'd be pretty fun if we went through all the different types of genres on my bookshelf, and as you can see, it's a lot. So let's jump right in. The first genre I have is children's fiction, and I chose Heidi by Joanna Spyri. I love this book. I was actually given this copy by my aunt who also loves this story. It is such a cozy tale about a little girl who goes to live with her grandfather in the mountains. It's so cozy. It's so just heartwarming and loving, and I just love this so much. You're going to hear me say that about all of these books, but that's the reason why I own them. They're such good books and I love them so much. So if it gets a little repetitive, I am so sorry. But there's a lot of other things that happen too in the story, but I don't want to spoil it for everybody. I'm going to keep my explanations short and brief. But yeah, I love this book so much and I encourage you to read it. If you haven't already, it's such a good classic as well. The next genre I have is middle grade, and I chose the Ever After series by Shelby Bach. This is such a good fantasy series. I loved it. It's so well written. The characters are just so good. And the world building is also so good. I loved it so much. I started reading this when I was in middle grade and I still read it now. I love it. This is about a girl who goes to this after school program and she finds out that it is a how do I say it? That it is a training ground for new fairy tale characters. I had to look at the back because I could not figure out the words. Um and everyone gets a chance to play a lead. So it is oh, it every time I read it it's like I'm reading it for the first time again. It's oh, you got to pick it up. The next book I have is a mystery, and I chose The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This had so many twists and turns I never thought I would see coming. Like, and I never did see them coming. They are so good. This lady cleans for this super rich family, and there's something definitely weird going on. So she has to figure out what's going on, what's happening, and like she's trying to like dig up these secrets, but she finds herself in the middle of them. It's the craziest book I have read. It's really good. I like it. The next book I have is a classic, and I chose Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Oh, I read this when I was in school and I loved it so much. And a friend of mine actually gave me the whole series, and oh, I love it so much. It's such a cute, cozy tale, and it's about this girl who she ends up going to a foster home of a brother and his sister. But the only thing is, they weren't expecting a girl, they were expecting a boy. So it's very like, oh my goodness, it's a lot of adjusting on both ends, but she gets into a lot of scrapes and a lot of different what's gonna happen, kind of things, and it's so good. I'm gonna put these down here so I can go ahead and make new room up here. My next genre is romance, and I chose Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. This is such a sweet closed door romance. I love it so much. And it's sweet, it's cute. It's about this girl who is she is in uh she's a, oh, what do you call it? I'm trying to look at the back. Um she's working as an editor at a publishing house. But the only thing is, like, romance is kind of like forbidden there, and she wants to become a romance author. And she ends up working with this guy that she's never met. She leaves her manuscript in this like ledge in the publishing house, and he ends up giving her tips. So she writes and leaves it there, and she keeps getting tips back and forth. She has no idea who it is. And it is so cute. I love it so much. And all the while she's doing that, she is also battling with the new like editor in chief, editor in chief's son, who they don't really get along very much, but it's a good one. This one made me very giddy, like giggle, kicking my feet. Oh, so good. I love this one. The next one is a YA fantasy, and I chose Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. Oh, this series. This series has a grip on me. I love it. I love the plot. I love the characters, the world building, the plot twists, a little bit of romance sprinkled in. This is so good. So good. I love it. It's about this girl named Sophie who ends up being ends up finding out that she is an elf, a long lost elf, and is taken away from her family to go back to this city, these lost cities, and be trained as an elf. And they, oh, I love it so much. The fantasy in this is so good. It's a long series, so you have a lot of books to read, but I went through them like that. Like, it's, but it is so good. The characters in here are hilarious and so well written. I love them. And even though there's so many characters, she manages to write all of them so perfectly and so well organized. And I love that. The next one I have is a YA romance, and that I chose Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I love this book. It talks about movies. It has some Taylor Swift references in there. It's an enemies to lovers, fake dating. I think it's fake dating. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was fake dating. But it's about this girl who lives next door to her nemesis. And, oh, yes, no, it is fake dating. Now that I'm recounting it. She lives next door to her nemesis, and they hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. But when her childhood crush moves back in, she realizes that her nemesis is her only in with her crush. So, oh, it's so good. This is another one that made me giddy. Kicking my feet, laughing. I love this one so much. And that cover, Lynn Painter's covers are always so good. I love that one. I'm going to put this one on the floor. Okay, the next book I have is a YA mystery, and I chose The Cousins by Karen McManus. This one had so many plot twists. So many plot twists, so many like, wait, what? What just happened? Like, you will not know what is going on until the very end. And then you're like, oh my goodness, that's what happened. It is so good. I love it. It's about these teenage cousins who are invited to spend the summer at their grandmother's resort in New England. The only problem is they've never met their grandmother, they've never met each other, and they have no clue what's going on. There are so many secrets in their family. Their whole family is like estranged, and their parents are basically like cut off. So now they're trying to figure out why and what is happening. So it's such a good mystery. If you're looking for a really good mystery, I recommend The Cousins. It's so good. I love it. The next book I have is a nonfiction, and I chose The Little Book of Mushrooms by Alex Dorr. I hope I'm saying that right. And illustrated by Sarah Richard. I love this book. I love mushrooms. I I have mushroom lights here. I have a little mushroom on my bookshelf. Like, I love mushrooms. I'm obsessed with them. So, when I saw this, I knew I had to get it. It has beautiful illustrations of mushrooms, all sorts of mushrooms, and you can learn about all sorts of mushrooms, and it just gives you the basic information. It gives you some background information, if they're edible, if they're not. It is my favorite thing in the world. It's one of my most prized possessions. So, yeah, this is my favorite. And I wanted definitely to recommend this to everybody. But yeah, The Little Book of Mushrooms. Now, the next one I have is a historical romance, and I chose Mr. Malcolm's List by Suzanne Elaine. Oh, this one was so cute. It was so good. I loved it so much. It's about this guy who's Mr. Jeremy Malcolm, who's searching for a wife. The only thing is he has this extensive list. He's determined to find the perfect wife. So, not just anybody can fit on his list. And after like this one lady didn't fit his list, she enrolls the help of her friend, and her friend and her come up with a plan to make their own list. And after meeting every requirement on Mr. Jeremy Malcolm's list, they are going to tell him that he doesn't meet their list. So it is such a good book. Again, made me giddy, screaming, kicking my feet. So good! I loved it. And the final one I have is a novel, and I chose Flipped by Wendelin Van Drainen. I don't think I'm saying that right, and I'm so sorry if I'm not. This is so good. Oh, it's Flipped is my favorite movie, and I had no idea there was a book until I saw one of those videos where they painted their lockers as books, and I saw one that had it as Flipped, and I freaked out, and I immediately ran and like got it as an ebook from like the library, and I read it in like a day. It is so good. It's about this girl who has had a crush on this boy ever since they were little tiny kids. He cannot stand her. And a lot of things happen, and I don't want to give away too many spoilers. I'm not going to say more than that. All I can say is you have to read it if you have not read it. I love it so much. And I decided at the end of every video, I would give you guys one of my reading tips. So one of my reading tips is there's always going to be some like bad words in books, and I'm not a fan of bad words. So what I do is I white them out. Um and it actually helps me enjoy the book more by not having to worry about seeing them. And yeah, that's my tip. So if you're not a fan of um bad words, I suggest using like whiteout tape, and it makes your book look like they never had them, and is my favorite thing to do because it makes me more comfortable reading a book. So yeah, this is my first video and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, um, and leave comments down below of what you guys would like to see next. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!